Hi everyone, welcome back to my Daniel Smith series. I'm now working my way through the special effect colours, and I'm tackling in this video all of the Duochrome colours, of which there are 19, and these are intended to give two completely different colours depending on the viewing angle and how they are relative to light. And this is done with tiny pieces of mica, basically, quite complicated chemistry. I'll do a colour chemistry video, I think, that talks about how these work for those who are interested, and I'll stick today with how they look. So I'm doing my usual swatching. I've got a size 8 Proline Plus round from ProArt, my sort of go-to brush. Really beautifully balanced brush, and look at these gorgeous teak effect handles. They're really pretty, and the bristles are a fantastic alternative to Sable and Kolinsky. I'm using Aquafine cheap shitty hot press paper because all paints look their worst on this, so then we can see how they would look if they were looking better. I've done black patches using Spectrum Noir True Black alcohol marker, and I've swatched out space for all the colours. I just want to show you before I go anywhere, I did the Primatex in my last video, which I'll link to up there. I did them in two parts actually, and in the second part I hadn't let them dry, so I just wanted to cut in and show you that you get, with the bronzite, burnt bronzite and red fuchsite, you get sparkle when they have dried. And the red fuchsite reminds me a lot of sunstone, the sparkle you get with sunstone. Some of those are really pretty when they've dried out, but there's a lot of sameness, and I'm not sure how many of those I would find that useful. But that's me. You might paint a lot of things in those colours. So we're going to start off with Duochrome Oceanic, and these have all got absurd names, obviously, because they're not sort of standard colours. They are all light fastness 1, transparent, non-staining, granulating colours, and they may or may not granulate to different. They granulate to different degrees. They're not sort of all the same. So, given their transparency, I'm not expecting enormous pigment load, and I think we will have to dry these to see their true effect. Now Duochrome Green Pearl. A little bit harder to lift. Obviously all the Daniel Smith colours when you buy them come in tubes by default, so that difficulty with lifting becomes irrelevant unless you're going to dry them down into a palette, as I would, because it means you don't waste paint. Okay, Duochrome Blue Pearl next. And I'm glad I picked a slightly abrasive brush for this, because this is, again, not the easiest to lift. Obviously these colours have a sort of glitter sheen to them, and we'll see what that looks like once they've dried. Duochrome Turquoise next, and it's the pink colours that we're sort of coming up to in a bit that I'm the most excited about, because they look like they have the most interesting duo-ness. It's hard to see in their dried down blob state just how sort of duo the colours really are, because they're in really thick blobs and you can't really see through them, and they will probably have a stronger effect on black than on white, which is why I put slightly bigger black blobs than normal. So next, Duochrome Cabo Blue, clearly named after the resort in Mexico, so I'm expecting, yep, a sort of sea blue. I think the people who get to name paints must have quite a lot of fun coming up with the names. I know, I name organisms. I'm a taxonomist by trade, so I get to make up the names, and that's a lot of fun. And as are only in Latin, they're not nearly as exciting. Next, Duochrome Aquamarine. First of all, looks nothing like the stone aquamarine. It's far too green. Very hard to lift this one. I'm having to really scrub it. Duochrome Emerald next. Which is a really beautiful green. It's really vibrant actually, I really like that. Again, not easy. I think the mica content of these makes them really hard to lift. Duochrome Desert Bronze next. This is a sort of reddish brown, and again, it's requiring a fair bit of scrubbing to get lift with this. Saguaro Green, clearly named after those absurdly large cacti in the USA. It's actually coming off the splotch on the chart as a dark copper, not green at all. So we'll see how the duo effect actually looks on that. It could be interesting. Again, really, really hard to lift. Some of these have been easier to lift than others, so when I say they're hard, they're really hard. The easy ones are difficult enough. Duochrome Adobe, which is a sort of Naples yellow-ish brown, I guess. This is again one of the tougher ones, but the pigment load is alright, so it doesn't matter that it's so hard. Duochrome Autumn Mystery, which sounds like a wallpaper or a brand of house paint, and that's a sort of reddish copper so far. That one's not too difficult to lift, and it's quite a bright colour. Next we have Duochrome Cactus Flower, which is a bright purple splotch, but it's coming off a much paler greyish lavender. I find myself needing a lot more water with these than I do with other paints, and I do wonder if a bit of oxgall might have helped me. I'm wary of going through the paper on the splotch chart because some of them require scrubbing, and using a more abrasive brush may have helped. Duochrome Hibiscus next, which is a really beautiful hibiscus pink, and as I wet it, it's a sort of candy floss, bright vivid pink. That's really cute, or cotton candy for those of you not in the UK. It's very insipid, but we'll see what it's like when it's dried down. Duochrome Violet Pearl next. This one's lifting much more easily. This is a sort of cobalt violet, no, ultramarine violet kind of colour. Duochrome Mauve, or Mauve if you're in the USA. That's lifting relatively easy. It's a slightly grey purple again. Tropic Sunrise, sorry, Duochrome, I'm trying to say Duochrome, so if anyone watches this video and cuts in partway through, they know what I'm talking about. Duochrome Tropic Sunrise, which is a sort of titanium buff colour in terms of the blob. It's completely invisible paint. Yeah, it's a completely transparent paint, really, with just mica. I don't know if that's... I think there's enough shimmer on there that I probably put enough on, but we'll see when it dries. Last few now. Duochrome Lapis Sunlight, so I'm expecting a blue interference on this one. Again, it's one of these ones that is completely clear, and I'm just having to trust my sort of judgment with it that I've picked up enough. Duochrome Violet Fantasy. Now this one I've seen some whinging about online where people are sort of saying it's not violet, why have they called it that? So we'll see how it looks. Again, I'm having to trust that I've got any out. And then last but not least, Duochrome Arctic Fire, and this is the sort where I am expecting it to be a white. Yeah, that one's got more of a white pigmentation. These two were very clear. Okay, let me clean my brush. And we'll go back to the beginning and we'll zoom in. So, Duochrome Oceanic is green and I guess yellow as you tilt it. Yeah, it goes sort of like it's got a gold. Unfortunately, the camera can't really see this as well, but it's kind of got a gold. Can you see that? There's a gold sheen in one direction and a green in the other. Very pretty. Duochrome Green Pearl is again green and sparkly, and silver, I think, in the other direction, which you can see. Duochrome Blue Pearl is blue and sparkly, and as I rotate it in the light, silver and sparkly. Duochrome Turquoise Fantasy goes from turquoise through to a bright green, which you can see on the black there. Duochrome Cabo Blue is blue through to, I guess, a yellow gold. Aquamarine is a sort of aquamarine through to a blue. Emerald is an emerald through to a gold, I guess. Desert Bronze is a sort of gold bronze with a sparkly old gold or copper undertone. Saguaro Green is a brown, gold, a sort of golden brown, a bronzy colour with a green. Can you see that? It's got a green colour there. Adobe is copper sort of coloured with a purple or violet shimmer to it. Autumn Mystery is a coppery red with a purpley red shimmer. Cactus Flower is a sort of purple with a blue shimmer. And I'm going to turn the paper upside down now and do the last few. Hibiscus is a pink with a, I guess, a blue shimmer. You can really see these on the black patches most. Violet Pearl is sort of purple with a white shimmer. Mauve is a mauve with a blue shimmer. And Tropic Sunrise is a white, sparkly pearlescent white with a sort of yellow gold shimmer. And these last few, Lapis Sunlight is, I guess this is still wet so it's hard to see, it's kind of colourless with a gold shimmer there. I don't know where the lapis came from, unless it's meaning lapis in terms of stone rather than in terms of... Lapis is the root for stone, as well as, I mean, lapis lazuli is a type of stone. So, yeah, I guess that's stone sunlight, so it's gold. Violet Fantasy is white, and as you tilt it, indeed, it is violet. On the black there, you can see it clearly. The detractors are clearly thick. Arctic Fire is again white with a, I guess that's green sparkle there. So they're very interesting, and I think I need to come back to them when they've dried. So what I'm going to do with these is let them dry down, and then I'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk through how they look once they've dried, because obviously the effects can be really quite different. I don't know when I would use these because they're not really used in the type of painting that I do. I mean, I use interference media and similar when I'm doing acrylic. It's nice to have these kinds of things in watercolour, I guess, but I don't know when I would use them. But that's not to say that you wouldn't have a use for them, or that the wider populace wouldn't have a use for them. I just struggle to think of one myself. So if you like these and have used them, can you comment below and tell me what you think about them, and tell me what you've used them for and which colours you used and what effect you got. And if you can link to an image, that would be really cool, because then other people can see what you used them for, and then we can sort of share within the community, which is really nice. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll have a proper look at those. And then the next thing we're going to be tackling in the next video in the series will be the interference colours, and that includes pearlescent shimmer and pearlescent white, which are kind of in the middle of the interference series. So it will be the interference and pearlescent colours next, and then it will be the iridescent colours to finish those sort of special effects series. Thank you all very much, and good evening.